Nothing to do this week? Don't miss another event. Go to blacksinsanantonio.com for our event calendar. The home of the largest business directory in San Antonio with an African American focus. Sign up today for our weekly e-blast and text message alerts. Help us make this a better community. Connect, empower, grow.
We have a special moment. We have none other than the Democratic nominee to be the next county judge of Bexar County. I'm going to let him speak, and then I'm going to let Rich get back, and then I'm going to come back. But I want to acknowledge a few electeds who are here as well. The Judge Carlos Quesada is in the house. Where are you at, Carlos? Where are you at? Hey, he's somewhere around here. Maybe the next place getting Rosario's enchiladas. Yeah, he's by the food. Good place. We got Tom's tie in the house, so I'd be there too if I wasn't working. And Christine Del Prado in the house, District Court Judge. Christine, thank you so much for coming. Good to see you. And the world famous trailblazer, the Honorable Rosie Speedland Gonzalez. Thank you for all you do and standing up for so many and blazing trails for others to follow. Look, I got to tell you real quick about Judge Sakai. You know, I'm going to talk about this because this is the most consequential race in Bexar County. If we don't get him, a lot of things are at stake. Let me just tell you, you saw how important the role of county judge was during the pandemic. That is a very top thing that the county judge does is manage emergencies. And what I want to say about his leadership, I said this last night, God really loves San Antonio.
Yes.
Because we're faced in a moment where children are going through trauma in the schools.
Yep.
There's more fights breaking out. There's more dropouts that are happening. They're traumatized by gun violence every day. And they're crying out for mental health. They're crying out for help. And the county has been separated in large part from helping our school children. Judge Sakai, every child who came before him in his court was in an emergency. And that means he knows how to bring together law enforcement, mental health, the public health agencies, the nonprofits, the churches, all those that wrap around. And guess what that experience does? It also is for us, for when we have emergencies. He'll know how to bring the community together. And we're, unfortunately, because of climate change, because of the politics that we have today, we're going to have more emergencies. So nobody will ever be more prepared to lead Bexar County than Judge Sakai will in that position. For that is our first duty, is to protect you and to lead you through emergencies and secure homeland security. So we're just really blessed to have him step forward after 20 plus years. We have a relatively young Commissioner's Court. Should the people of Precinct 4 re-elect me this November, I will happen to be the Dean of the Commissioner's Court. Kind of hard to believe, Judge. I feel like I just got there. But this community is going to be so blessed, and I want you to give a big round of applause for the next county judge, Judge Peter Sakai.
Thank you. Let's recognize the Dean, Commissioner Calvert. As the Dean, we've got to give you the dignity and respect. We've got to make sure that you put your leadership, your vision. You know, I think Rachel, my wife's here. I just want to apologize for everybody. There she is. I just want to let you know she's not only heart and soul of my campaign, but man, I had to close my eyes and as we went through the intersections and those stoplights. So thank you, Rachel, for getting me here. We got here on time. Last night we had dinner, right?
Yeah, great.
And we had some really great conversations at our table. And what we found is we have common value. We got common vision. And we're going to have a common victory, as I'm going to be your next county judge and he's going to continue as the county commissioner of Precinct 4. Commissioner, in our talks, it's just so prophetic. We had talks about the urban farm many years ago, like, why can't we use some of this vacant land? And he said, you know what, we're gonna make it done, and it did. And you heard Grace Rose Gonzalez talk about the success of that. We talked about the other day with the ministers of the east side here about, let's get into affordable housing. And we have now tried to make sure that they take leadership and that we're going to then partner up with our faith-based community to deal with some of the issues of capacity of affordable housing. We want to deal with the chronic homeless, which is a whole different issue with dealing with mental health. We've got a tremendous opportunity with the public health entity to focus in on wellness, nutrition, make sure that we don't have food deserts, make sure that with the urban farms we get fresh vegetables and fruits to the communities that most need it. And so what I am submitting to you is that we have a tremendous opportunity to focus in on the mental health, to focus in on drug and alcohol rehabilitation, and Judge Gonzalez with your specialty courts, Kevin, Dr. Downey with what Crossroads does and does for our community, especially with the reentry programs. And so I am making my commitment and pledge to make sure that I work hand in hand with Commissioner Tommy Calvert to take us through to the next decade and beyond for our children and families. God bless you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tommy. Happy birthday to you.
I love it.
Their constituents' rights, but also leaders like Tommy and Judge Sky who are willing to reach across the political divide and collaborate for the betterment of the community and for the betterment of their constituents. We need leaders like Tommy and Judge Sky who understand that the ever-evolving challenges of today's world and are ready to rise to the occasion with a steady hand and the resolve in knowing that they are building the world of tomorrow.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone I would rather have as our representatives, our voice here in Bexar County. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend, our voice, Tommy Calvert.
Give it up for Rich. Rich, the owner of this place. He's done a great job. Great vision. Development without displacement. That is what we need.
Yes.
And a lot of people have been waiting for leaders like you. I've told y'all, this guy's going to be a billionaire. Y'all better touch him now. He's 32 years old. He's wise beyond his years. He's moving a lot of projects forward. And I always call it. Y'all see me call it years ahead of time. I'm telling you, this guy's going to be a billionaire. Y'all get to know him now.
I hope he's right.
But Rich, thank you for hosting us. We're so proud of the partnership that you have brought to our community. You know, for decades, people have looked at the AT&T Center and the Coliseum and wondered, why didn't economic development happen around the AT&T Center? Well, you are helping to cook up the culture, the arts, the entertainment, the business, the retail, the living space that will create the destination before and after the game. There's some things coming for the rooftop on this place, y'all. You're going to be able to have some food and drink in the near future before and after the game. A couple $1 million coming up on the rooftop. And so just get ready. Y'all know every one of these little parties we've had a seed laid that ended up developing in the future, and they're only going to get better. So Rich, I want to thank you for hosting us and your leadership. Thank you so much for the kind words. So I have a confession. Today is actually not my birthday. It's actually not my birthday. But I'm calling birthday privileges. I'm calling birthday privileges because it's just 9 days away. I was born, my mother's here. Where's Mama? Mama, come on up. I was born on September 24th, 1980 at 8:52 a.m. in the morning. Come on up, Mama. And but what I wanted for my birthday was to get you involved in this campaign a little bit earlier. We have a real campaign. Judge Sakai and I have a real campaign. Our opponent is not just someone on the other ballot, but we're also fighting what I call Jim Crow 2.0. What do I mean by that? Who is Jim Crow 2.0? Jim Crow 2.0, of course, is the fact that we have right here in this House district, thanks Mom. How many hours of labor was it?
2 minutes. Well, it took a long time. It was tough.
Yeah. She's a tough mama. So I joke about this now. I was telling somebody the other day, my mom used to spank me, and then she'd be whooping me, and then she'd answer the phone, hello? Sweetest voice. No.
He was too cute to spank.
I'm going to say kept me out of trouble. It's all good. I appreciate it all. No, I hit the jackpot when it came to parents. And, I'm so glad you get to celebrate this time with our family. You are family to us. Thank you for your presence. And as family, I needed to let you know I have a real race this time. This may be the most difficult race of my career because we're dealing with a situation. We're right here in this area where I live, right by the Redberry Mansion down the street here. 38% of our seniors' mail ballots were thrown away in the March primary. 38%. In where I live. Now, Southeast and District 119, where Liz Campos represents and I also represent, 37% of seniors' mail ballots were thrown away. So the real birthday present that I want from all of you is your support in this campaign. This is a magnificent campaign headquarters. We're blessed to have it. We need it filled with people phone banking. We need it with funds. Everything's going up, Judge Sakai. 4x8s were $20 a piece when I started running 8 years ago. They're $50 a piece now. Block walkers were $10 an hour 8 years ago. They're $20 an hour now. Somebody's like, I want a job. So, then you can have one. So we've got positions open in block walking. But things are very expensive, and people think I have this thing in the bag. And I want you to know, Commissioner Atkinson came here on August 20th, and he opened this headquarters, and he said, do not take for granted the leadership of Tommy Calvert, because we lost some good judges recently.
Yes, that's right.
Some people that you didn't think were going to lose to folks who were eminently unqualified. Every time our name is on the ballot, we got an opponent, we got to run like we're behind.
Yes.
And so I wanted to get you all here a little early, just kind of shake y'all up a little bit, wake you up and say the best thing we can do is to win this thing together. Are you with me? Yeah! All right. It's my birthday. So I don't have to give a long speech tonight. You've seen a lot of the accomplishments on the wall in terms of these projects that we've done. You've been a part of them, and I want to thank you for being there with me on this journey. But let me tell you, with Judge Sakai, the best days are ahead of us. The best days are going to be ahead of this for this community. You know, I believe that all of our destinies are linked together.
Yeah.
Whether you live in Highland Hills in the southeast, whether you live in Alta Vista and Beacon Hill in my precinct, whether you live on the east side or the northeast side, or the Dominion. All of our destinies are linked together. And it is so important in this moment in our history, where so many of us are divided, that we continue to have leadership that brings us together, because it's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee. I have an opponent who doesn't believe President Trump lost. Okay? 8 million votes later, he still doesn't believe that. But I have been a unifier. I have literally had the chair of the Republican Party pray for me in my office and say, I'll never vote anybody against you. Because I've reached out to try to always be fair. When anybody comes to me, I'm not looking at what your party is. I'm looking at how can I help you? As long as it's legal and ethical, I want to help you. And so I just want you to know that none of us can do this alone. These campaigns, I've got 500,000 people that I have to communicate with. Judge Sakai has 2 million people he has to communicate with. It takes a lot of woman power and manpower to get this thing done. But I promise you, if you think the first 8 years of unprecedented change in this county, of more responsive government, of 9 tax cuts in 7 years, if you think those are good things, just get ready, baby. We're going to turn it up a little bit come January 1st, 2023. now, your support, I want you and your family to understand what you've done. In the Southeast, we're creating a new medical center. I was able, with your support, to give $1.5 million for the medical school at the University of the Incarnate Word. What does that mean? That means that a $10 billion healthcare impact is going to be spread across the southeast side in areas that are medically underserved, where children ran around with pedophiles in the streets and needles and things of that nature because the neighborhood had fallen in complete, it was like a third world country. But today, we have a cleaned up neighborhood thanks to all of you. I just want to thank Grace Rose, and I want to thank Deborah Dockery, and I want to thank Rich and everybody who put today together. Your comments I really took to heart and just overwhelmed by your friendship. But we need you in this campaign. I hope you hear me. That's the birthday present I want from you. Thank you all for coming. God bless you.